Hello YouTube and welcome back. My name is Josh Kinney, and in this tutorial we'll be going over a few new things that we have within SwiftUI. The first being this dot refreshable, as you can see I have pulled up in the Apple documentation. And what this is very simply on a list you can add a drag, so you can drag down and it'll actually refresh and do what you want it to do on that drag. The next thing we're going to do is actually use this async image. Now with this async image, you actually get a few things. One being, hey, if whenever it goes out to get the image, if there's an error, you can show something. They show red here. Or else, meaning we're still waiting for the image to come in, you can do something else. In this case, they do blue. So let me show you the app real quick, and we'll do this exact app in this tutorial. So first thing you're going to see, we have a navigation title called cats, and then we have a list of cats. Now you'll see really quickly here, if a cat does not actually come in, so let's say the actual image is invalid, then we will handle that. So instead of a red, I just went ahead and added a cat image saying no cat, meaning no picture. Okay, so then you can see the list of your cats here, but if you wanted to switch this and populate this to dogs, for instance, we can actually click, drag, let go, and you'll see the title of the navigation has switched to dogs, and now you have dogs as well. If I go really quick, you will see that there's a little image that I put inside the code as well. The wait, so if the image hasn't loaded completely yet, you'll see that little bitty spiraling image same as a placeholder is what that's being used for. Again, they use just the color blue, which we could have done. I went one step farther and just put in an actual system name there. Okay, so that's it. So let's go ahead, open up our Xcode and get this project going. Now I have Xcode open. Let's look at what I have so far. The first thing is you will see I have a struct of animal image. This needs to be of type decodable and identifiable, so we can put this in a list. I just use ID and then I call it a URL for the string. This is going to hold the URL. So next thing, right here I made a nav title called it cats. I'm using this because we are going to wrap this in that navigation view. And once we trigger it to dogs, we want this to change from cats to dogs. I'll show you how to do that as well. Next thing we want to handle is no image. So I'm going to paste in here an array of cats to start off with. One of the cats is a fake image. It does not work. And I'm doing that so it will trigger this no image and show a no cat. Now, no cat is the next thing that I actually added in before I started this video. And all that is in assets, no cat is an image of a cat with a circle and a line through it. Dog or no dog is the exact same thing except it's a dog. Those are the only things I've done so far to this app. So you can copy that, pause it, go in to catch up to where I'm at, and then we can start from there. So in this array of animals, I am going to make this an array of this animal image. So I'm going to paste this in because it's a lot of cat images that I went out and found and pasted in here. And to save some time on the video, I'm just going to paste it. So here they are here. Again, one of these are fake because I want this to trigger and show the cat image instead, or the no cat image instead. So there that is. Now let's go and start actually coding this out. So the first thing we want to do is make a navigation view, then a list, and this list is going to be of those animals that we created up there. If you do comma, ID, colon, we can actually access that ID. Okay, now from there we can do inside of this, now that this list that we're making, we can do animal in and actually grab now any piece of animal that is in here. Now this word here, I talk about this on almost every single one of my videos. It does not matter what you call this. It just, hey, if it's an array of animals and there's multiple ones and you're trying to go in and just grab one, animal makes the most sense. That's why I did it. You can do whatever you want there. All right, let's move on. It is now time to access the async image. But before we do that, go ahead and click on your app here and then go to these build settings and then go down to iOS deployment target and make sure this is set to iOS 15 just so you don't get an error for this async image. This is a new feature, and if you're on an older device, it won't be able to access this, so it'll alert you, and it'll force you to put in an @iOS 15 code inside your project if you leave this like 14 or any other thing other than the 15. Anyways, let's go back and begin. So let's do this async image. So I'm gonna go back to the web where I got this, and you'll see I can just copy this part right here. And you can also kind of notice they use the word phase. And once you get this, you actually can access the image, the air, and then anything else after the air, which in our case, we're going to use the image, the air, which is, hey, it's not a full image, so show that cat or dog image that we created. And then finally, hey, if it's not actual air, but the image hasn't loaded in yet, show the third item, which is going to be here. But instead of blue, like I said in the beginning, we're going to handle this with a system image. So let's go ahead and get this going. So first thing first, copy this, paste that guy right here. But instead of the URL that they're giving us, use the animal that we just grabbed or created, dot, and now you can go to URL. Okay, now we can do this guy here, and we can do, I'm going to do the animal so you don't get an animal. And I'm going to do that so you don't get confused with this animal here. So I'm going to name it a little bit different. Okay, now go back over to your code here and grab this. So we can literally just copy this. So that's how you get the image, that's how you get the air image, and that's how you get the final anything else. It catches the catch-all, I guess. So paste that guy in here, and then let's just rename this. So it's not phase, we use the animal. It's not phased here, we use the animal. And then finally, we don't have to name it here. It'll just catch all and do the rest here. So we can go ahead and handle this by doing system image, system name, and I use a time lapse. And then I use dot foreground color, and I use black. And you can scale it to fit if you want, or to fill. Actually, I'll fill if you want. Up here, instead of the red, we're going to handle this by grabbing our no cat image. So all the way up here to this guy. So we're going to do that by doing very similarly to this guy. So image. What is the name? The name is going to be no image. And then now, whatever modifiers you want to add to it, I'm just going to do a resizable guy here. So now that's resizable. And then the last thing is the actual image here. What do we want to add to this guy? And the answer is just resizable works. So now this can be resizable. Now you can do a resizable one on this as well, but I like it to be super small, kind of like you saw on my preview. It just looks like a little loading thing going on. So I'm going to keep it like that, but you can change it by doing resizable here. So now let's go ahead and change. Well, let's run this real quick. All right, so this is ran, but it's on this side here, and I just wanted to show you what it looked like. So you can see the cats are populating, but they're not all the same size. They're everywhere, and some of these are not even showing up yet. As you can see, that no cat image that is showing up. So now let's fix that. We're going to go into here, and if you go follow this, not on that statement, but on this one, and you actually paste your modifier. So I'm going to add a frame, I'm going to add a corner radius, and then I'm going to scale the fit. Now let's run back over here, and we should be, there it is. Now we should be able to see all our cats. The only one that is not working is the one that I purposely set to be a fake image, and the rest are showing up. Now, you're not going to see the loading image because these are already populated too fast, but we will see those on the dog ones just so you can see, because those don't come in as fast. So now let's go ahead and work on the refresher model. Now this refresher goes underneath this list guy here. So if you go underneath this bracket here and you do dot and do refresher, or type in refresh, you'll see this refreshable with some code. Go ahead and hit that. Now let's do some code. So the first thing we want to do is when we drag down to refresh, we want to change the actual navigation title to dogs, the no image to no dog. So let's do those two now. So very easily, and you guys probably already know, nav title is dogs, no image is set to no dog. And you guys should already know this, but if you don't, in assets, whatever you're calling right here, make sure, see how my D and my C are capitalized? Make sure that you are capitalizing what you need to. They need to be the exact spelling or it will not work. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to change this animals to all dog images. So we'll do the exact same thing. So we'll do animals equals, and then you can do your brackets, and I already have them, so I'm going to paste them here. But it's I just have a whole bunch of dog images. It's exactly like I did with the cats, just so you don't have to do that or wait for me to type it all out. And that should actually do this part here. Now, the last thing we need to actually do is access this navigation title. We have not done that yet. We can call it the nav title that we started, and that'll be it. All right, that's built. Let's go over here. We have the cats. We have all our cats. The only one that isn't is the one, again, that I did on purpose. All those are working. Now let's go at the very top of this and let's refresh. So let's drag and pull, and boom, dogs show up, and here they go. Now if you go really, really fast, see how you can see that image, that little bitty time lapse that we created? So if you go real fast before the image actually loads up, you sometimes can see that. And that is going to do it for the Refreshable Modifier and also working with the Async Image. These are newer features in SwiftUI, and I hope you honestly enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a like by hitting that thumbs up. If you want to see my upcoming content, you can always hit that bell and you'll be notified. And as always, if you have not yet, please, please, please subscribe to the channel, because that helps me get my content out to others. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day.